it's important to highlight because we knew that there was going to be a 90-minute game of soccer that was played, and what was that going to look like as these two rosters went through player protests or participated in player demonstrations. And maybe the way to start is taking a look at some of these starting 11s, because those are the players that are, the cameras are all on them, right? Looking at the shirts or looking at the wristbands. So, in terms of how players lined up in this match, the United States had Alyssa Nair start this game in net, Emily Fox, Alana Cook, Becky Sauber, and Crystal Dunn to round out the back line. Andy Sullivan, Ashley Sanchez, Lindsay Horan in the middle third, and Trinity Rodman, Alex Morgan, and Mallory Swanson for the starting 11 in the front line there. Lisa, during our preview, we chatted a little bit about players that we wanted to see get the start. So, for me, when I was taking a look at this starting 11, I liked that we got to see some of the players that we had chatted about that we wanted to see get a start against Canada.
Me too.
Saw Alyssa Nair. I talked about needing to see a little bit more from Alana Cook. I was hopeful that we could maybe see Gearman Cook, but 1 out of 2 ain't bad. We got to see Cook with the start at center back, and we knew that Rose Lavelle was going to be unavailable for this match due to some prior match day availability, where Vlatko Anofsky and U.S. Soccer said that Rose Lavelle had picked up a small knock in training, and there's a precaution they're keeping her out of match day 1, but they hope to have her available for games 2 and 3. So we were curious as to what we were going to see in the mix of this lineup from the midfield and connecting through to that top line. So when you saw this starting 11 drop, what were some of your reactions?
Rodman. I was excited to see Trinity Rodman. I think when you look back to the first trip of the year for this team going to New Zealand, we saw Rodman get a starting nod in that second game, make an impact in the first game off the bench, get a start in the second game, and now to get a start in this opening game of SheBelieves. I was really happy for her, really proud. Of course, as the game goes on, we learned that Trinity Rodman gets significant minutes in this game as well, which I was really happy to see. It doesn't help her because, that helps her, right? It's not going to hurt her to give her more time and do that. We've talked so much about the slow build up for Rodman, making sure she's comfortable in the time, blah, blah, blah. No, throw her in. I want to see what she can do. And that's what we saw from Vlatko Anofsky. As you mentioned, with Lavelle being out and getting that injury, I assumed it would be a Sanchez swap, Ashley Sanchez in the midfield. And that's exactly what we saw. That's a like-for-like swap in my mind. Maybe not the experience or the specific talent, but the overall skill that they bring to the game, the type of player they are, Rose Lavelle and Ashley Sanchez. It's definitely a swap for swap. We did see Sullivan and Herrera also in the midfield, and I know we're going to talk about this, but much more defensive, much more flat between those two, looking like a double pivot. We'll talk about it, but had to throw that out there because I really, Herrera was not much higher up the field than Sullivan the whole time. And then across the back line, I think Dunn and Fox on the outside backs is something that we could consistently see from Vlatko Anofsky. I wanted to see Girma in the center back position. I did, and I was sad not to see her at all during this game, but I don't know. That was one that I was pretty sad to not see in there. And then of course, Alyssa Nair.
Yeah, I listened. When I saw the starting lineup drop, I gave some of my thoughts already, but I liked it. I thought that this was a reasonable lineup, all things considered, players who were available versus players who were unavailable. I'm with you in sort of the united spirits, right? We got to see a number of spirit players, whether it's Sullivan in the 6 or Sanchez and Rodman getting tagged with the starts. When you see the starting 11 drops, you start to run through all these different scenarios in your head, like what are we going to see from player A, B, or C, and how are they going to combat against the opposition? What is that going to look like? So
And of course, in the starting lineup, Alex Morgan, who was honored and celebrated for receiving 200 caps. She's just the 13th U.S. Women's National Team player to reach that milestone. And I think it's so fitting that she wears number 13 and she's the 13th player. There's a lot of fun little things around that. And I think she did it right on November 13th in the game against Germany. There's a lot of cool things around that. But of course, she gets the start, and I think very well deserved as well. Not just something given to her because of the 200 caps and the honoring. I think very, very well deserved to have Morgan get the start.
Did you see the boots while you were watching it live?
So
200
cool.
cap boots. Who was rocking the captain's armband in
cool.
this one. She definitely. We'll say that Alex Morgan definitely had an impact in this game, and it was more than just the ceremony.
Didn't see her cleats by any chance. Go on social media; they're all over there. Super cool, super iconic for her. They're on Attacking Third Social on our Instagram Go check our Instagram and our Twitter. Excuse me. Go check them out. Little 200s on both of her cleats. I mean, what an accomplishment! Fantastic, very cool.